You're tuned into Recovery TV, the voice of hope, with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Discussions and information on addiction and mental health issues. Here's your host with today's guest.
Welcome to another edition of Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Narcan, please get it. You can get it at the pharmacies. You can get it at URI. Please put it in your car, your purse. Take it out at night because the weather affects it, but it saves lives. Overdose deaths are down. There's one reason, because of Narcan. My guest today is from ADCARE, Nicole Pagliatti and Dr. Colburn. Welcome.
Thanks,
Thank
John.
you for joining us
Great to be
today. Nicole, a little bit about ADCARE for my viewers.
Sure.
Tell me about.
Yeah, so ADCARE's been around a long time. It's a 59-bed facility currently in North Kingstown, Rhode Island, and we have a new wing under development, I would say by the end of the year, that will expand our capacity by 16 additional residential beds. We've also recently moved our Warwick outpatient location to the main campus in North Kingstown, so we're able to provide the entire continuum of care, so detox, residential, IOP.
Does that include like step down too from wherever, and also do you have recovery housing compared to with your group?
Yeah, we don't have recovery housing. We do partner with a lot of the local sober living facilities to ensure that when people do leave ADCARE, that they're established with housing and then some type of aftercare program. Our discharge planners do an amazing job of ensuring that 90% of our patients have some type of aftercare plan when they leave residential treatment.
And that's very important. You've got to have aftercare plan because you just can't let them go out the door.
Absolutely.
With nothing. And the other thing is too, you know, I'm looking at and been in contact with a lot of people for the realm of recovery housing. It's very difficult.
Yes.
With short beds. We need to get more beds online, but that's the state issue that needs to ramp it up to get these people.
I believe they're working on it.
They are. They're
Yeah.
working on it, and so am I, but it's taken a while.
Sure.
But we'll see what happens. Dr. Colburn, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Sure, thank you.
And your role at ADCARE is?
I'm a medical director. I run all the different detox protocols. I also manage any acute or subacute medical conditions that might occur. Anything that's beyond that, we'll transfer it to the hospital. But in general, the medical care of all patients.
How long have you been at ADCARE?
I was part-time for about a year, 11 years ago, and then I've been full-time now for 10 years.
So 10 years. I'm going to take you back 10 years.
Okay.
And I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to take you back 10 years. Have you seen a difference between now and 10 years ago for patients?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot more polysubstance use now than 10 years ago. Patients using more than one substance, and I'm going to exclude THC, marijuana for this part of it, but a lot of patients with opiates and alcohol, or alcohol and benzodiazepines, opiates and benzodiazepines. So a lot more polysubstance abuse. We're seeing kratom now, where we really didn't see that 10 years ago, even though it was around at that time, but we're seeing more of that than 10 years ago.
What about the mix of folks that you have down there, male to female? Can you give me any statistics, any numbers?
Yeah, we see about 2/3 male to 1/3 female population. You know, we payer mix, we take all commercial insurances, we take Medicaid, so we're able to help, you know, a lot of different people.
Yeah, on the women's side, it's been a lot of conversations about more and more women getting into the realm of substances. Are you seeing that from where you were when you first started over there, Nicole?
What do you think, Dr. Coburn?
I think that would be, if you ask me the 10-year question, yeah, I think there probably are more women reaching out for help and getting into treatment at ADCARE than in the past. Yeah, I would say it was probably 85% perhaps 10 years ago, and now it's 67, 60.
So why do you think that is, Doc, that more and more women are seeking help now?
I think education, public education. I think women have more ability to get into treatment than perhaps in the past, where the traditional job of the woman is take care of the household. That's not, fortunately not the case anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So they have more independence to get into treatment. They have more ways to take care of the children
Right.
while they're in treatment. So I think there's a lot more ancillary type services available.
I'm
that let them get
going
into
to throw a
treatment.
word out here. Stigma.
Mm,
You think stigma had a play in that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still there. There's we know it's a disease, and public figures call it a disease, but the actions don't seem to support. the talk.
That's what amazes me, being in this field now. If you have heart issues, if you have diabetes, if you have any other issues with your health, it's not a stigma issue.
Right.
But substance use is a stigma issue. And I wish there was a magic wand where we could just get rid of it. And this would open the door more for people to go in to get treatment.
Well, I think people forget that it's a chronic disease
Right.
and it requires ongoing treatment.
Right.
It's not, for most people, they don't go to treatment one time and they're fixed, right? You have to
Right.
you have to keep up with that aftercare plan and support, and it's really it's a major lifestyle change.
And that's a big deal. I mean, especially if you get if you have issues when you're in the early 20s, and now you have to deal with for the rest of your life, because relapse is part of recovery, as we all know.
Sure.
And I've had people sitting in those seats that 14, 15, 16 times, and by the grace of God, at the 16th or 17th time, they found a way not to do it again
Sure.
Right.
and to become productive citizens again. But I look at the overdoses. I mean, Rhode Island their rates have been through the roof over the past 7-8 years. Now it seems like because of the amount of Narcan that's on the street, the overdose deaths are down. In my eyes, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, some of the overdose numbers are up in certain areas. I mean, the state did a great job by buying all the Narcan that they could get their hands on and leaving it down at URI, and now it's flooded the market, which is great, but it's still an issue with a lot of people still overdosing, because now they got this box that they can carry with them,
It's their backup.
and it's a backup. It's like when you want to be in a baseball team, you're a backup. But the point is that we need more education, and how we do that is for a show like this, and people with families that have kids, or even young adults that have tendencies to go down the one-way street.
Sure.
And how do we get the message out? I mean, the state does a good job. We all do a good job. But as you can tell me when we come back from break, you have repeat folks
Yes,
in
we do.
and out.
Yes, we
So
do.
we'll talk more about that when we come back. You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages.
And now back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, Kodak. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. ADCARE is in the house. Nicole Pagliatti and Dr. Colburn. Nicole, I wanted to thank you. I forgot to do that, for being a sponsor of the show. I greatly appreciate that.
Absolutely.
For moving the ball down the field to try to help this issue. I want to talk a little bit about the Narcan. I tell everybody, get it, keep it. But you made a statement when we went on break. One box is not enough anymore.
Not anymore. No, not with the new.
Why is that, Doc?
Well, the new analogs, the new fentanyl analogs, the nitazines, they're known as isonitazines that have come up. they're very resistant to Narcan. They're not completely resistant to Narcan, but they hold on to the receptor a lot stronger
Yeah.
than fentanyl does. So it takes more than one Narcan to reverse it, to push that drug off the receptor.
Yeah.
So sometimes 2, 3, 4, and we frequently, when we see an overdose, we'll use more than one. We always try to carry around at least 2, just because the drugs are stronger, more potent, and more Narcan is needed.
Nicole, also I wanted to let our viewers know that you guys also operate a hospital.
We have, yes, we have ADCARE Hospital is in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's a level 4.0 detox facility.
Now, that is for people who may have other issues besides substance issues.
Correct. Who may require a higher level of care for detox. There may be extenuating comorbidities, people that require hospital level of care for detox.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I've never been there. Someday I would like
It's very busy.
take a ride up there with you and the doctor to visit that facility, but it's good that they're not far from Rhode Island, it's just down the street.
Sure.
Per se, because a lot of people may have underlying conditions other than substance use, whether it be diabetes, heart, liver, whatever. Are you seeing a big increase in alcohol in your facility? People coming in with alcohol issues?
I think you've always seen alcohol.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's really changed.
Okay.
I see we have more patients there for alcohol use disorder than opiate use disorder, always.
Really?
Yeah, we see a lot more patients with alcohol use disorder. You made a point about comorbidities, and 4.0, we're at 3.7, but we still see patients with a lot of comorbidities.
Right.
I mean, if we have a patient who's known to need an intensive care unit because they have DTs when they withdraw, that would be a patient that would need a hospital.
Yeah.
Versus,
and do you supply transportation when something like that happens? If you have to send them up to the hospital in Worcester?
Yes.
We have transportation.
Okay. How about transportation as far as locally?
Yes, we do.
If someone from Woonsocket calls and said, listen, they call your number, they say, listen, I want to come into treatment, but I don't have a ride.
We have the ability to pick up within a 2-hour radius.
Okay. From all over the state?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we do it every day.
Oh, insurance. Hot topic in Rhode Island. Some pay, some don't pay, some pay late, some don't feel like paying. What is your assessment of the insurance industry?
Insurance is definitely a challenge. It's becoming more and more difficult to get approval for treatment. We take almost every commercial payer you can think of. We also take Medicaid. What we are looking to do is we're actually retrofitting our smallest unit, which holds 12 beds, to become, to become almost a primary mental health unit with secondary substance use.
Oh, wow.
So subacute mental health, so depression, anxiety, PTSD, things like that, dual diagnosis. We're already seeing these patients, we're already treating them, but someone who may not, for example, someone hasn't drank in a month, but they do have substance use history as well as mental health, we can treat those patients. And it's really going to be cohorting those that may have a primary mental health condition and building clinical programming around mental health versus substance use.
What about length of stay? I'm hearing it's all over the lot.
Sure, sure. We on average, our length of stay is 14 to 17 days. We always encourage people to stay as long as possible. We do see some patients that come in for detox only, and then they leave. They don't step down to resi, but we always advocate that they do stay for residential. The longer in treatment, the better.
Is it because when they get into the detox end of it and they stay 5 to 7 days, they say, I'm fine, I'll be all right, and next week, boom, the little Johnny's back in again? Does that happen a lot?
Absolutely. Detox keeps you safe.
Yes.
That's what it does. It keeps you safe. It doesn't keep you sober.
Right.
It's the residential treatment and the treatment following that that keeps you sober. So I tell patients, you know, it's great that you came into detox. We'll keep you safe. You won't have a seizure, for instance, if you're abusing alcohol, but it doesn't increase your chances of staying sober long term versus the person who didn't come in at all and detoxed at home.
Yeah.
The chances of staying sober is the same. Residential, different story.
Yeah. So how many clients that you talk to when you say, stay in a little bit longer? Say, you know what, maybe I should. And then there's others that say, you know what, I'm out of here. I can't take it no more. It's a lot?
I would say between 30 and 40% of patients we can convince that it's in their best interest to stay longer. And then the remaining, they sort of have their minds made up that, or they're externally motivated. They're
Right.
there for somebody else. They're not there for themselves.
Right.
It's the individuals that are there for themselves. They may be external motivators as well. Those are the people that we get to stay into residential.
So you made me ask another question about families. All right? External, you say, well, my mom wants me, or my dad wants me to come in here, but I really don't want to come in here. I'll just do the detox and then I'll do what I need to do afterwards. How many families come back to you and say, geez, can you give them one more shot? Can you give them one more stay? I mean, do you have a
Oh, it happens all the time.
Does it?
Our clinical team does an amazing job of working with patients and encouraging them to, you know, to remain in treatment. They'll meet with family members, work with family members. You know, it's a family disease.
Right.
So you really have to treat the entire family, and that is something that our clinical team does really well.
And it's hard to do. We're going to take another quick break. You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages.
And now back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, Kodak. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. ADCARE is in the house today. Nicole and Dr. Colburn, thank you both for coming on today, and thank you for your sponsorship of the show. I want to talk a little bit more, because we don't have a lot of time, but issues pertaining to ADCARE itself, as far as you got the next route of beds coming on board, 26, right?
16.
16. And where do you see ADCARE after you get that 16 up and running? I know you got another program that you're going to start. You want to talk a little bit about that, because we only have 2 minutes left.
Well, I really just did review it, but again, being able to treat more co-occurring disorders, really though with primary mental health is the main focus. So we'll be introducing that later this year. We have the construction project, so almost the completion of 16 new beds again, hoping that's complete by the end of this year. It's been a little slow going. Other issues, it's, you know, ADCARE is, it's a hidden gem. It really is. The patients absolutely love it there. It's
in the woods, nature.
Yeah, it's a beautiful location. It's serene. The staff is amazing. A lot of our staff members have been there a really long time, and people feel really at home there. You know, sometimes they leave, they might go to another treatment facility, and then they come back because they're comfortable there.
What about tours? Do you have tours for
Yeah,
families?
absolutely. If you reach out to myself, we can set up a tour. We have a lot of partners that we work with in the community, right? So our goal is, you know, we may not be a good fit for somebody, but we always want to help people get to treatment. So, you know, we work with a lot of other treatment providers, and they'll also come in for tours and check out the place. But
Well, I want to thank you both for coming on today, and I wish you all the best. And when you're ready to go to Worcester, I'd love to take a ride up there and take a look at that hospital. So, again, thank you. My guest next week is Lauren Bolster. She's with Social Sparks. And right after this, follow-up is Kodak Live, a fully integrated primary care system. If you see something, say something. See you next week.